The house is a crime scene. Okay, no matter how you look at it, to this day, it is still relevant. Just because they've processed it does not mean it's not relevant. And when I heard that they're even entertaining tearing the house down, I thought, wow. So we got to ask ourselves, in Moscow, Idaho, every time there's a homicide, are you going to tear the house down? Do the houses go away? Or what's going on here is what I'm thinking. I mean, what's happening here? Karen, what do you think? Have you ever heard of a house being torn down? What about who was the kid that killed the whole family and stacked them in the front living room? Josh Jenkins?
Josh Jenkins, Vista, California, 1996, long time ago.
He slaughtered his whole family, piled them in the living room, and tried to light the house on fire, right?
Yep.
Did they tear the house down?
Nope. No. Never did.
No. The list goes on. So what do you think's going on here?
So I think the University of Idaho is wielding some heavy-duty power, possibly over prosecution and the judge in this case. I think the PR optics of this in that small town have kind of run amok, because logic would tell you, if you want to tear this house down, wait till after the trial. We have a date for the trial. The trial may or may not go on in October, but it's not like this trial is 2-3 years away with an unknown date. It seems logical that University of Idaho would want to wait until the trial is complete, giving prosecution, defense, the judge, the jury an opportunity to go see the crime scene. And it seems like they're putting the cart before the horse. And in my opinion, this is driven by PR and financial reasons. What do I mean by that? I think that university is in a big hurry to get rid of this house that no doubt people are driving by. They read all the articles that are going on. They're seeing this on TV. There could be, we don't know. I mean, if you live near the house in Moscow, Idaho, let us know in the comments. There could be a steady stream of cars and people and looky-loos who are coming there to take a look at the house because it's infamous now. That being said, let's wait till after the trial. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I have a feeling that University of Idaho is pushing this because they want to wipe it away. It wouldn't, it stains their image. If we're talking frankly about this, and I'm sure that they are thinking financially too. The negative press about 4 students being murdered off-campus housing, but still University of Idaho, they have to be thinking that, what is this doing to their PR image? What is this doing to enrollment? What is this doing to their bottom line financially? And so, again, it just doesn't seem prudent or logical to be doing this before the trial. Chris, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I mean, here's a good one here. They're demolishing the school building in Parkland, Florida. Right. How long? The trial's over. Knock it down. Make it go away.
Exactly.
Okay. But in this case, they're thinking about knocking it down before the trial begins. And you can bet the defense isn't going to argue, no, don't, we're not going to say anything. Let's keep our mouth shut, because at some point, the defense is going to go into that place but we can't go there and look at it, Your Honor. The house is gone. Okay. And you can bet one juror or somebody's going to say, yeah, well, the house is gone. Well, I would have wanted to go see that house. Okay. And so if this is for public relations, or if they think, it's a biohazard or whatever, I saw a comment come up here a second ago, which, appreciate the comments. If it's a biohazard, then, every hospital room in Moscow is a biohazard. Every single one of them.
Chris, Chris, let me just remind. Let's remind everybody that let's think of another recent murder trial, double murder trial. The Alex Murdaugh case. When they spoke to a few jurors after, the jurors said that visit to Moselle, the property, the hunting lodge where Alec Murdaugh killed his wife and his son, was very helpful for the jury to go see it. And a lot of them were talking about the distances. They didn't realize how compact the area was between where Maggie was shot and where Paul was shot. Anyway, my whole reason for bringing this up is that's just a recent example that we all have fresh, where it was very helpful and could have been a crucial point for the jury to go see it. And so, again, Chris, you have been involved with hundreds of murder cases. You've testified in hundreds of murder cases. How many times have you seen the crime scene, building, house, or what have you, demolished before the trial?
I've never been involved in a case where they tore the house down. And, you know, here's the problem, okay, in my opinion. I think, and this is just me speaking, this story of those victims, Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan, is brutal. And that's exactly what the jury needs to see, is the brutality of this guy now in a three-piece suit and a tie, and 1,000 people on YouTube, making him a special person. Okay. But that house tells the story. That house tells the story of Kaylee. That house tells the story of Maddie. That house tells the story of Xana. That house tells the story of Ethan. It doesn't tell the story of the University of Idaho. This is their story. And this is the evidence that tells their story. And it needs to be preserved until the end of the trial, whether it's a conviction or found not guilty, either way. And then you tell the story of the University of Idaho. Don't put the cart before the horse, because there's going to be some defense attorney, Miss Taylor and her investigators, that are going to grab this, and at some point there will be an issue in this trial coming up if that house is gone. Whether we like the story is not for us to choose. We're not Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, or Ethan. This is their story. The prosecution's job is to tell their story. The investigator's job is to tell their story. The defense's job is to tell Koberger's story. That's their job. And the story they would love to tell is nothing less than, don't say anything, let them tear the house down, we agree. And let it go away. Just let it go away. But then when a jury is, paneled, and they go, we'd like to go to the house, Your Honor. What's Judge going to say that day? You know what? For the sake of public relations and hazmat problems, we wanted to protect you guys away from the house. Well, no. You want them to go in there and see those walls, feel those hallways. In fact, go in at 4:00 in the morning, take the jury at 4:00 in the morning. And I remember in the Rebecca Jensen case, Karen, where I went out it was like 3 a.m. in the morning, and I stood where the witness said she stood. And my partner stood on the other side where the victim was, and we couldn't see what she was saying. It was impossible. And I came back and I said to her, I said, I think you're lying. And she admitted, yeah, you're right, I was lying. Remember, she tried to frame a different guy by the name of David Mick. And you know what? That's why you have the courts to protect the evidence. It's not to protect the integrity of the university. These kids have a story that needs to be told. And I say children because, you know, we have children that age, actually much older, but they have this story, and the defense is just going to sit back, and the prosecution should be passionate about saying, Your Honor, no, that house needs to stand. I'm sorry, it needs to stay there until this is all over. And at that point, Your Honor, you know, we agree that it needs to go away. And I agree it needs to go away at some point if that's how they feel in the community. But at this point, right now, it needs to stand. Well, why don't we just go out to Pennsylvania and tear down Koberger's house too? Let's just do that. Let's make it even. Okay? Because they did a search warrant out there and they found stuff and evidence out there. So let's go out there and just tear his house down. Okay? I think it's a bad decision. I really do.
Hard working every day, I'm stressed out 24/7, babe. No timeouts, wish we could fly away. You and I go to our favorite place. Oh yeah, make special memories together. I'll be your company now and forever. I say we fly away, you and me, go to our favorite place. Feeling the sun on my face in Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. I need a summer breeze, some fresh air to put my mind at ease. No cares. You wanna come with me? Me and you go to our favorite tree. Are you ready now? We jump on a plane now. We're taking away. Yeah, we're taking away. Don't hesitate now. We're taking away. Yeah, we're taking away. We'll never